Hey everybody, this is George Brasher with Shakedown of Thunder Sports, and you're about to watch the two Irish brothers. Go Irish.
How's it going, everyone? I am ND Sean 45.
And I'm Irish Benjamin 57.
I'm sorry, Ben. We had to bring the numbers back.
Yeah.
We had to. And with that
By
said,
popular demand, too.
Yes, by popular demand. And with that said, after bringing the numbers back and our names, we are the two Irish brothers. And so I'll tell you one thing, Ben. It is a good thing that we probably took an extra day because that game on Saturday night it took me a full day to actually process. And tell you the truth, listen, I'm happy that we won. I'm always happy that we win. But I got to tell you, man, I have a lot on my mind right now. And to tell you the truth, I'm not exactly sure where to begin.
Yeah.
Let's just say there's a lot that came into fruition on Saturday night.
So I think the biggest thing is just Brian Kelly is one of two things. Okay. He is either one of the most arrogant coaches in the world or confident coaches in the world. I don't know which. I don't know which because he rolls out Cone for our starting quarterback, and I'm just like, okay, here we go again. Like, and what happened the first drive? And it's just like, okay, we've seen this a whole bunch now.
Same shit, different day.
So it's like something's got to give. And speaking of giving, I have to give George Bashura a shout out here.
Oh, of course.
He hit the nail right on the head when he was on the show with you, filling in for me. Drew Pine is an insurance policy. He's an insurance policy for Cone, and he's an insurance policy for Buckner. And in my opinion, Drew Pine will never start at the University of Notre Dame. So he might as well just file his transfer papers.
And that's a sad thing, too, because he has a lot of potential. And, that's a great place to start, is talking about the quarterbacks, which I'm sure most people expected us to anyway. But here's the thing, and I'm not bad-mouthing any of these guys. I'm just calling it like it is, as we've seen by their performances. First off, I almost wonder, in regards to your comment about Brian Kelly either being the most arrogant and cocky head coach or the most confident, I swear to God, dude, he's doing this to us on purpose, the fans, because I think he has a hard time swallowing his pride. Because look, how do you not see 6 games into the season? And I'm sure he does. Let's not kid ourselves here. I'm sure he does. But a part of me almost wonder if he doesn't do this on purpose just because he's sick and tired of hearing what the fans have to say. And a part of me, I guess, can't blame him. But it's clear that Jack Cone as a starting quarterback is not working out. You have seen what Drew Pine can do. But you know what? Let me just break it down. What I said earlier, everything that we have been saying came into fruition on Saturday night. Jack Cone, more of the same. More of the same. A pocket quarterback, you cannot play behind that offensive line with it as low as they are right now. Tyler Buckner, he came in and did some good things. Not taking that away from him. He had some really nice moments. But after those first couple of drives, we've been saying it. He's raw talent. Raw talent that is not fully developed yet. And that's more your call than it is my call. So you have Drew Pine, who so far has been the most consistent. Why are you not going with the consistency?
Yeah. And reversing course just for a second. I think most coaches in the FBS level, you have to be somewhat arrogant. I mean, because you deal with crap on a daily basis. I mean, look, if you look around Twitter currently, everybody's making excuses of why Georgia shouldn't be number one. Okay.
That's ridiculous, but
yes. So if you're Coach Kirby Smart, what's your mentality? As an example. So, yes, I get that you have to be somewhat arrogant. I get it. But at the same time, like you said, okay, we saw Oklahoma this past weekend bench Spencer Rattler.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because he wasn't doing well enough to their standards. Lincoln Riley benched him.
And look what happened.
Where have we seen this yet from Notre Dame? Now, the difference is that one benched their quarterback and one didn't.
Well, what I'd just like to see is instead of playing multiple quarterbacks every single week, why not just give one a chance? Start him. I don't know what playing multiple quarterbacks is actually accomplishing here. It's not accomplishing anything. And maybe it's easy for me to say because I'm on the outside looking in, but it's clear that, like I said, it's clear that Jack Cohn being a pocket quarterback with no mobility, it's not working. Pine and Buckner are the quarterbacks who have the mobility, and Pine is your best bet because he has more experience than Buckner.
Yeah, and with Cohn, it is not just that it's not working out and that he's not mobile. It's he doesn't make the right reads. I mean, you see him rolling around in the pocket, and he goes right into the blitz.
Yes.
How many times do you have to roll yourself into the blitz?
Yeah, it's like he tries to step up and heave it, but the defensive line is already there. The linebackers are already there. You're screwed at that point.
I watched a few games Saturday. A bunch of the marquee matchups, if you will.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Besides Notre Dame, Alabama, Texas A&M. I mean, obviously that was one that most people were tuning into. Georgia, Auburn. That was one that most people were tuning into. And then, of course, Penn State, Iowa. And one of the biggest things that stood out to me was when Auburn was playing Georgia, Bo Nix, the Auburn quarterback, ran away from pressure as opposed to towards it like Cohn. Now, Bo Nix ran around way too much, and he ran backwards way too much. I mean, it was like every other play he ran back.
Yep, I saw some. Okay. I saw that a little bit too.
And there is a problem there too. But okay, I would rather you run backwards and throw the ball away than run towards the pressure and get clobbered.
Yes,
exactly.
Saying.
But yeah, so I don't know. I mean, I think that the reason Notre Dame won this game was because that they are better than Virginia Tech talent-wise.
And also,
there could be mistakes, and Notre Dame could make up for the mistakes with their talent.
And let me tell you one thing. As much as we're kind of ripping on Jack Cohn right now and all these guys, one thing that none of us can rip Jack Cohn for is what he did at the end of the game.
No.
I bring this up because, first off, I want to give him props. See, you and I have been, as I've said numerous times, people, say that we just accept mediocre play and mediocre records and crap like that. Not the case. Obviously, we're telling the truth right now of what happened on that field. But this is a truth, too. Jack Cohn, he stepped up big time when it mattered on that final drive, the 2-point conversion, and then after that, leading us on the game-winning field goal drive. So none of us can take that away from him. And myself, I'm proud of him, and I'm happy that he was able to do that. Just one thing that I don't understand. You saw that final drive, or those two final drives, I should say. He looked sharp. Jack Cohn looked really sharp. And the one thing that was going through my mind as I'm watching this, Why is he not playing like this the rest of the time? That's what I don't understand is why is this not happening? I'm sorry, say that again. I couldn't hear you.
Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde.
Exactly. So it's like you obviously Tommy Rees, Brian Kelly, they can see what he's doing at this point in the game. Why are you not drawing up some kind of game plan to where he's doing that the entire game? Because if he was doing that the entire game, okay, fine. I'm perfectly fine with that. Why would you not play a high tempo the entire game then if that's what works? Clearly it did on those last 2 drives that ended up winning us the game. So yeah. I just don't get it. It's hard to wrap my head around a lot of the things that are going on with this quarterback situation at Notre Dame right now. And again, I'm not trying to badmouth anybody. I'm just trying to think of what is the best option for us to win going forward and get to the NY6.
When we are critical, it is not that we are trying to bash anybody. It is, and believe me, I want these guys to do well. Okay. I
absolutely.
I have seen it in other fan bases, and I will leave that alone. But I've seen it in other fan bases where it's almost like fans root for guys to fail. And it's like, okay, but if that guy fails, then where are we? Okay, exactly. So it's not that I want Jack Cohn to do bad. It is, okay, this is what I have seen. You have not proven it to me. So then I have to go with the other guy.
Yeah, exactly. And that's fair.
I mean, I want to see, believe me, I would love to see Cohn throw for like 6 touchdowns every single game and have his name up in the Heisman contention and all that. I would love that. But we're not getting that. We're not. And it's frustrating because everybody seems to be on the same page except this coaching staff. And that's the most frustrating part. And it's like,
well, yes and no to that, because our criticism, we're being very fair and we're not just burying these guys. Unlike some on certain other pages.
That Cohn's the problem. Okay, we realize that Cohn's very inconsistent. The line cannot protect him well enough. He's not suited for that line.
Yes.
Okay, so then to fix the problem, you change quarterbacks. Well, all of us fans and podcasters seem to have the right idea. We all seem to be, a few steps between each other on the same wavelength, give or take.
Yeah. I mean, obviously,
we all think that it should be Pine or Buckner, not Cohn.
Well, and obviously, I mean, you got plenty out there who are just absolutely despicable. I'm not going to name names, but we know which pages and which podcasters we're talking about here. But yeah, this is fair criticism. This is we can see what needs to be done. And I mean, I guess all I can say is there's a reason that none of us are head coaches and that we're just fans, because myself, I've said it a million times, I don't even know if I'm qualified to coach a peewee team, let alone a college football team. So there must be something that they're seeing that we're not seeing. But all I know is in my opinion, it just, like you've just been saying, Ben, it doesn't take a genius to see when something's not working.
Well, yeah, and see the biggest thing that I saw, okay, is sack totals between Cohn and Buckner.
Yeah, I knew. Okay. I think we all knew what you meant.
One was sacked and one wasn't sacked, and I will let you put 2 and 2 together of who was and who wasn't.
Yeah, okay? The mobile quarterback can get out of it.
Is the offensive line. Okay, it is not like Buckner had a different line than Cohn had.
No.
So I'm not saying like all of this stuff is Cohn's fault. Obviously, he can't block. Obviously, he has a different job than the line does. I get that. That's football. Okay. But if you are running for your life and you can't run, then where are we going?
Exactly. So, you nailed it.
And the thing that kills me, the biggest thing that kills me is Kyron Williams can play football.
Oh, he's a big-time baller. We all know that.
Football. But the unfortunate thing is Kyron Williams could be so much better if he had a better line and a better offense he was on. I mean, he had 81 he gained 81 yards this past game. He did not lose a single yard.
Oh, he stepped up big time. I mean, that
Okay?
touchdown run that he
He
had
didn't
was
lose a single yard. Could you imagine if he had Georgia's line? Could you imagine if he had Alabama's line?
where we'd be looking at some sick ass numbers right
Could you
now.
imagine if he had Oregon's line? See, that's my thing here. It's like I've seen it before with college and pro teams where there are guys like Kyron Williams on the team and their talent is just wasted because everybody else isn't up to par.
Well, and also I think Kyron is a senior this year. I think he's done after this year, correct?
I think he's a junior.
Junior? Okay. Well, all I know is
he could go to the NFL draft. So I mean,
right,
it
yeah.
could be his last year.
Yeah,
I believe he's a junior. Let me look really quick. But yeah, and believe me, I want him to do great. And that's my issue is that he just doesn't have the support. So he's a junior / sophomore, depending on if he takes advantage of that extra year of eligibility from
that's right.
COVID.
That's right.
So we could have him for 2 more seasons. Could. He could pull a James Skalski with Clemson and stay a couple extra years. Anyway, so I mean, obviously the offensive line has to step up more. We're beating a dead horse at this point. Everybody knows.
I know.
But let's also talk about Kevin Austin. Okay? I mean, targeted 4 times, caught 3 of them, 70 yards, a long of 46. And Avery Davis stepped up, 7 targets, 3 catches, 64 yards.
Well, let's not forget with Kevin Austin. He also came up big at the end there,
right,
with the 2-point conversion, because that pass was not intended for him, but he came out of nowhere and snagged it. Yeah. And that tied the game. So big play on.
And unfortunately, right, Braden Lindsey continues to just be average. 31 yards for Braden Lindsey.
It's really sad with him because he has so much speed. He could just burn guys
with a long of 20. So
see, that's the thing. You got to start throwing downfield more. You have to get him involved. But
I mean, even if you don't have time, if you don't have enough time to take like 5 steps back and launch, okay, then hit him on a crossing route. Why can't he do a slant and put the ball in his hands and let him get into open space and let him do the rest?
Good point.
And this is my frustration, Sean. I am not a coach. I am not a rocket scientist. I'm an average Joe with an average Joe job. And I see this. Like,
I know.
And we continuously play down. Notre Dame is playing down to their opponents. I don't care who says what. Notre Dame is playing down to their opponents. Should they have beaten Cincinnati? Yes.
Oh, yeah. We've been getting it.
More than that scoreboard showed? Yes.
The history of that is definitely there, and of course we're still getting crap for what we said about the Cincinnati game. But I'm sorry, we gave that game away to Cincinnati. I don't care what haters are going to say or what even realists are going to say.
And not even like gave it away. Let's not even focus on the gave it away part. Okay, let's focus on the talent that's on both teams. Okay, yeah, Cincinnati's in the top 5 right now. Congrats, congrats. But there is a team that is not like the others in that top 5, and it's Cincinnati.
Mm-hmm.
Notre Dame is more talented top to bottom recruit-wise than Cincinnati. Now, Cincinnati may have played their hearts out against Georgia last year, and they may have played a phenomenal game against Notre Dame. Give it to you. Okay? But like I said at the beginning, there is nobody on this schedule that's on Notre Dame's level, talent-wise.
No.
I mean, and yeah, they might hit Notre Dame in the mouth like Virginia Tech did. Okay. But, some teams hit teams in the mouth. I mean, A&M hit Alabama in their mouth, and it worked.
Yeah, absolutely.
They were unranked. Alabama's way more talented than A&M. Way more talented.
And I wasn't trying to turn this into, another Notre Dame Cincinnati comparison or anything like that. But
it's a fact. And it's the same with Virginia Tech. It goes back to, we can go full circle. Okay, Notre Dame should beat Virginia Tech by more than
3 points. Yeah.
3 points. And it's nothing against Virginia Tech. It is nothing against Virginia Tech. Virginia Tech had one loss coming into this game. Lane Stadium is a very hard place to play. The crowd is insane. I give you that. Okay. But guess who else has packed houses? Notre Dame. Guess who else plays at packed houses? Notre Dame.
Yes.
Sorry. We play Michigan every other year. We play Southern Cal every year. We play, you name a big name team, we most likely play them.
Well, at least we used to play Michigan every other year.
But in those stadiums that we're going to are huge. So if you want to say, oh, well, Lane Stadium's going to bother Notre Dame. I mean, yeah, it'll be loud. But Notre Dame's not like a Toledo that's never been in that kind of an environment.
Yeah.
So
if they have, if Toledo has been in that kind of environment,
maybe when they play Ohio State, but not when they play in the MAC. And that's not a dig, that's a fact.
Yeah.
But anyway, back to this. I expect the offense to do better than they did. I mean,
yeah.
And you can call me a realist if you want, or you can call me a quote unquote hater, but
no, you're just
I want these guys to do well.
You're certainly not a realist, Ben, because you're not giving up on this team and not giving them a chance to win. That's what a realist is. They're pretty much Notre Dame hater in disguise. So you still give the team a chance to win. You don't just quit on them. That's what a realist does, is they just quit. So, but go ahead with your next thought.
No, so and you know what? I was originally okay with the 2 quarterback system. This thing needs to end. It needs to not be a thing. It needs to be a situational. Okay, if it's like 4th and 1 on the goal line, and you want to put Buckner in to try to sneak the ball in or whatever, sure. Okay.
Kind of like what Oklahoma,
like Florida did that when Tim Tebow was a freshman with Chris Leak.
Yeah, okay? and also Oklahoma.
I'll give you that. Okay.
Oklahoma did the same thing with Blake Bell, the Belldozer.
Well, I'll give you that. But when it's like, okay, well, you're going to do these 2 drives, and you're going to do these 2 drives, and you're going to do these 2 drives, and you're going to, it's like, no,
you can't do that.
No. So, and Buckner got hurt. I mean, we're not talking about it, but Buckner did get hurt.
Yes, he did.
And that was my nightmare right there. That is what I have been saying from the beginning. And it is not that I want him to get hurt. It is more of, I have seen it before. I have seen it where it's, okay, let's play this freshman when we have Drew Pine and Cone, who should be the quote-unquote starting quarterbacks, and let this freshman, who didn't play football last year, ease into everything and get used to this game speed, because the Notre Dame players on the team could play just about everywhere else.
Well, it's like we said, he's raw talent. That's not we've been saying that he's raw talent for pretty much the whole damn season. So every video we've done, we've said that.
He gets hurt, and I'm like, and thank God it wasn't major.
Yeah.
Thank God. But it could have been. So either go, okay, Pine's our starting quarterback or Cone's starting quarterback the rest of the way, and just let people be angry and let Buckner learn, or just make Buckner the starting quarterback. If you're going to play him the whole, for part of the game, then just make him the starting quarterback.
Yeah, there needs to be
maybe it'll light a fire under Cone. I don't know.
There's got to be one firm decision, and playing multiple quarterbacks is not the solution. But on that note, Ben, here's a good time for a break. Here's a message from our sponsor.
Hey, Vern, I see you brought the youngins in for a double dip of that Brahms ice cream. They're humongous, ain't they? And big, too. Let old Ernest help, okay? Now, let's see. Who got the vanilla? Who got the butter pecan? And who got the strawberry? And Vern, I bet you got the chocolate. Don't you want yours, Vern? Well, pay the lady.
Always great. I know we use that one already, but you might see some of the ones we've used already, people, because all the online YouTube downloaders appear to be down for whatever reason, which sucks, but it is what it is. But anyway, Ben, I think we've covered the quarterbacks and the offense quite a bit. Let's talk about the defense, because the defense isn't off the hook here either for Saturday.
No, there was, it was a pretty, what's the word I'm looking for? This was probably the most hostile environment that Notre Dame went into. I mean, yeah, granted, they went down to Florida State in Tallahassee and all that, but Florida State has obviously shown us that
they're not a winning team.
They're not a winning team, and all that. Virginia Tech, however, came into this game 4-1.
I mean, they're looking at a chance to possibly make a run at an ACC championship, but I think at this point, with the way Wake Forest is playing, who knows?
Yeah. So, I mean, the defense gave up 22 points.
Oh, yeah. Pick six. Okay. The pick six. Okay.
Not bad, but not bad. I a little bit above average. I would hope for 14 or less. That's kind of where I like to see a good defense be, 14 points or less. But we're on the road, and it's a hostile environment, and the offense struggled and sputtered and put the defense in bad positions.
I agree, but here's the thing: you're at the point in the season where you should not be missing tackles,
right,
when it's right there. We had trouble tackling on Saturday night, but also we had a lot of trouble containing the quarterback in the pocket.
Yes.
But what troubles me even more with that performance, I mean, listen, I'm with you. The defense played great. They made some plays, and I'm not saying that they didn't. But when it comes to that pocket and not shutting it down, what troubled me even more is Burmeister. You already heard him, and I don't mean that in a bad way. Like, yeah, we heard him. No, he got. I mean, I'm saying is he got hurt. He comes back and he's, still kind of gimpy.
Yeah, but
there's no
hard out.
Yeah, he was playing his heart out. I give him credit, but as good as our deep, he is a tough guy. Absolutely, I'm not taking that away from him. But when you got a quarterback that's hurt, there is no way that you should be letting him get away in the pocket and letting him beat you for a touchdown.
Yeah, no.
You should not be letting that happen, no matter how gutsy he is.
Yeah, passing for Virginia Tech took full advantage of this defense. I mean, Burmeister threw for 184 yards, just getting towards the 200-yard mark. Rushing, the Notre Dame defense, for the most part, handled rushing. I mean, there was Burmeister was the leading rusher, ironically, 59 yards gained, 10 lost for a net of 49 and 1 touchdown. But I mean, Blackshear only got 35 yards, and then Blumreck only got 29 yards. So the actual running backs, you're holding to under 50 yards, which is impressive.
Yeah, it is.
But like you said, things need to be cleaned up. And the missed tackles, the blown assignments, the letting the quarterback legit out of the pocket is no-nos, big no-nos. And Notre Dame's got somewhat of a rough schedule for the next few weeks. I mean, bye week this week.
A much-needed bye week.
Southern Cal, North Carolina,
Virginia's in there somewhere.
I mean,
Navy.
This isn't going to be an easy stretch.
Should
they win these games? Obviously, I've said it before. I'll say it again. They are better than these teams, but
these teams are going to come and get ready to smack you in the mouth big time. USC is a rivalry. You have Navy, who, I mean, I've said it many times, that option offense is a bitch to play against. Virginia, they're going to look to pull off the upset. Georgia Tech, at this point in time, I'm not extremely worried about them. But one that really is kind of like a concern is the end of the year, Thanksgiving weekend against Stanford. And I don't want to look too far ahead. I really want to try to take it one game at a time here. But Stanford, they've been playing people tough and they've been upsetting people.
Yep. Well,
So,
and when it comes to rivalries and stuff, I mean, crazy things can happen during rivalry games. We've seen it in the past. You know,
and North Carolina being the other one.
I mean, so yeah, it could. I mean, you know, you catch a team on their good day or your bad day, and you're in trouble. So overall, the defense needs to improve a little bit more. There's always room for improvement. Obviously, that's the name of the game, is to improve and get better each week.
And all I know is, you know, despite all the problems, we are 5-1. I wish that one wasn't there, but unfortunately it is.
Yep.
But this is a good team that we have here. Don't kid yourself. There's talent galore in this team. We just got to put it all together. And what was I going to say? Kind of going back to where I shouldn't look too far ahead here. You and I both know we're not delusional to this. I mean, the loss against Cincinnati really hurt. Probably, I know there's still half a season yet, but let's face it probably ended our playoff chances. There's just we need a lot to happen.
There would need to be some major bedlam.
Yeah,
in very far ahead of Notre Dame, because I mean Notre Dame currently sits at 14 in the polls. So, I mean, you're not even in the top 10 right now. So,
but it's like I said, we still have that opportunity to get to the NY6, and in this year, it's either for us it would either be a Peach Bowl or a Fiesta Bowl bid. So that's what we're most likely playing for at this point. Which that's not too shabby. It's not a national championship, but it's still a major bowl game on the big stage. And I don't know, have you seen any of the recent bowl projections?
I've only seen like fan projections. I haven't seen anything like official.
Well, I've only seen it on websites too, like, you know, CBS, ESPN, and all that. Couple interesting ones. And speaking of which, what I said about in the last video that we did when I was talking about the Orange Bowl, and if you know, they dropped down those bids to the other two bowls, the at-large versus at-large, you know what I mean?
Yes.
I don't know if they do that or not. See, I mean, and the only reason maybe somebody could tell me this, but do they do that? Like usually the ACC would get a bid to the Orange Bowl, but obviously since the Orange Bowl is a semifinal game this year, that's not the case. You got to make the playoffs to get there. But do they drop down those bids for you know, to the other bowl games? Because like last year, the Rose and the Sugar were the semifinals. And I can't remember if they dropped down the those bids to two of the other games or not. I'm not sure. Because here's why I say that. Of these, some of these projections that I've seen, the Peach Bowl, for every single one of them, has an ACC team taking one of those spots. So that's why I'm thinking like maybe they dropped the ACC Orange Bowl bid down to the Peach Bowl. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And a lot of the ones that I've seen have us playing an ACC team in the, which I would assume would be the ACC champion in the Peach Bowl. But one interesting one, they have us playing in the Fiesta Bowl, Michigan.
Yeah, that would be. I've seen something like that. Yeah.
So, of course, we know. And of course, we know a group of 5 team is going to get one of those slots. Absolutely. But that's most likely what we're playing for right now, is a bowl to the Peach Bowl or the Fiesta Bowl. And I got to ask you, Ben, of those 2 bowl games, is there one that you would prefer to see over the other?
Nope. I want to see improvement, and I want to see wins.
Well, I'm trying to I'm trying to have a little fun here.
No, I love bowl season, period. I mean, I've always been someone that even the lesser bowls I get really interested in, and seeing teams you don't normally get to see. So for me, right. I'm call me lame. I'm one of those guys. I'm just happy to be here, you know? So,
well, I gotta share this with you. And of course, it's probably stupid to even talk about this now, because we have six 6 games left, but
no pineapple bowls, Sean.
I always have it ready to go. Come on, that's a nice concept though. But I digress. To be honest with you, if I had to choose, I would love to see us play in the Peach Bowl because we played in the Fiesta Bowl a bunch of times. In the Peach Bowl, without looking, I don't think that's a bowl game we've ever played in.
Yeah.
So I'd love to see us play in that one.
I would love to play Michigan, and I would love to beat Michigan. That's just me. But
I'm not going to complain if that's the case. Hey, look,
I've seen Notre Dame in Florida in the Fiesta Bowl from a big namer on Twitter. So as their projection, which would be cool. I mean, we get a little bit of a preview because we got Florida on the schedule in the next 10 years. So that would be pretty cool. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, we'll see what happens. We got to win the rest of these games.
Yeah.
NY6 isn't possible with 2 or 3 losses if you're Notre Dame. So
no.
You got to win out the rest of these games.
But it is you have to admit though, even though there's 6 games left and a lot can happen and we need to take it one game at a time, this is still a fun thing to talk about.
Oh yeah, for sure. And it's the top 5 right now is very interesting, for matchups. So I mean, it's going to get real interesting before it's all said and done.
Oh,
so,
yes.
I mean, we've already seen a couple thrillers this past weekend. It's only going to get more thrilling moving forward.
I agree.
But back to Notre Dame as the team. It's time to focus on the fundamentals and get rested up and then get ready for a throwdown with Southern Cal because Southern Cal is going to bring the house. They got a bye week too. So you're thinking you're going to skate by and get a bye week on them and get an edge. They got a bye week too, and they get to heal up too. So it's going to be interesting.
Yep, it will be. So from this point on, just one game at a time, and the rest will take care of itself. So on that note, Ben, I don't have much else to say. Do you?
I got nothing.
All right. Well, everyone, that is it. Like we said, this week being a bye week, we'll try to have something else out for you. And on that note, this is ND Sean 45.
I'm Irish Benjamin 57.
And as we always say, God bless, good night, and go Irish.
Go Irish.